Okay. Hi everyone. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Piotr Kaminski, and I'm a senior product manager on the identity and access management team here at Ecommerce. But I was involved in e-commerce security from the very early days. So, credit card fraud is on the rise globally. Since a couple years ago, it's actually more beneficial to steal credit cards online than to skim them at a gas station because it's just safer and brings more revenue. And with the growth of online shopping, it's only getting worse and will continue to get worse. So, e commerce merchants are a prime target. While we've seen some verticals being more at risk than others, especially high ticket items like jewelry, it's affecting everyone, big or small, and it happens regardless of the platform or the platform type, SaaS or on-premise. So what those hackers actually do with the e-commerce stores? Enter Mage card. Let's talk about it. So Mage sounds like Magento, doesn't it? But while this malware was initially found on Magento stores, now Adobe Commerce, right now, MageCart is a generic name for different types of malware targeting e-commerce stores, and typically has a form of a front-end JavaScript code that steals credit card information. There are two primary ways the information is stolen, despite hundreds of variants of such malware. Either the data is stolen directly from the payment fields, or a fake payment form is shown to the customer to overcome certain technical protections against the former method. So attackers often don't need any sophistication to get into the store and install this Mage card malware. Quite frequently, they just reuse stolen credentials, username and password, or stolen API keys. Then using one of the many ways allowing to add JavaScript to the page, like script manager, block, page builder, the malware gets installed. However, detecting a breach is actually not that easy. The malicious scripts are often named in a way to resemble valid scripts like analytics, and the checkout pages often don't have anything noticeable on them to be able to discover that something wrong is happening. What most commonly happens is that at some point, the merchant gets notified by Visa, MasterCard, or their payment provider that they were a so-called CPP, common point of purchase, for stolen cards. However, this might happen even months after the initial breach, since hackers sometimes wait with selling the stolen cards to collect more of them before being discovered. There are a couple of things one might do to protect themselves. The most obvious thing is to regularly review all the scripts in the script manager and other places. With the upcoming PCI DSS 4.0 regulation, it's actually required to have a written justification for each of the scripts in the checkout pages. For our enterprise merchants, BigCommerce offers a free security scan through Reflectis. The idea behind it is actually very simple. Reflectis emulates a customer by adding a product to cart and attempting a checkout, while observing what scripts are executed on the page. And if something that should not be there is loaded, an alert is generated, and we take action. This process requires some level of manual onboarding onto the Reflectis platform, but it's highly successful. And how do you protect against those different threats? So let's start with the stolen credentials. The easiest way is to ensure having a strong, unique password not used on other websites and using two-factor authentication, 2FA. 2FA protects against cases where the password gets compromised. For example, if the computer has a virus and locks all keystrokes. Additionally, one should avoid sharing accounts, especially the highly privileged ones like store owners. We know that currently it's hard to do in BigCommerce, but we are working on major improvements there. In addition to that, we support a few single sign-on providers, which allow IT organizations at larger companies to enforce two-factor authentication on the identity provider level. And what to do to protect against stolen API keys? It depends if you're a merchant or an agency. As a merchant, you should remove API keys that are no longer needed and no longer used. You should always select the minimum required set of scopes for the keys. You should never reuse keys or give the same keys to different people or entities. And you should only send them using a secure method of delivery, like Keybase. As an agency or technology provider, you need to make sure to store all the keys securely for your merchants, delete the ones that are no longer needed or ask for deletion, and send them and receive them only using a secure method like Keybase. So what's coming on our roadmap to help address overall security posture and help with those challenges? So we've recently launched ability for non-store owners to create and manage API keys. Similar functionality is coming for app installations, so designated users will be able to install apps. We're actively working on improving the permission system to a proper role-based access system, and then in another phase of the project, to introduce more granular permissions, more detailed permissions that cover all the functionality of the product. And with the upcoming PCI 4.0 standard, which comes into effect at the end of March next year, we will be making changes across the system to ensure compliance. And that includes longer passwords for the control panel and related changes, sub-resource integrity for all scripts, and much more. With that, thank you. And if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly using the Ecommerce developer Slack or email or Twitter. Thank you.